Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today, I will be welcoming, oh my god, this is a very, very emotional episode for me because I will be interviewing a former co-worker of mine back in 2014 when I was going through a very terrible time in my life. I was homeless. I was working as a security guard at Menlo College in Menlo Park, California. And I'm going to be interviewing this girl who worked there, Sara Duran. She was a student, and then she worked there, and she was literally the nicest person that I knew there. And we're going to talk about, just our journey of how we got from, early beginnings to Menlo College, and talk about, our memories of working there. And I can't wait. Like I said, Sarah is really cool. She's a lot of fun, really nice. And it's going to be a pretty interesting show. Whenever I do these shows where I interview people from my past, I like to reminisce about the past because that's what this show is. It is about the past. The key word here is past. So, here is my interview with Sara Duran. Hey, Sarah.
Tommy, what's up?
Not much.
Oh my gosh, we are finally doing this.
Yes, we're finally doing this. How are you?
I'm doing great. So tell me this, are we officially on the line? How does this work?
Pre-recording it.
We're pre-recording. Okay, what does that mean? I've never done this before.
Just pre-record it and then I upload it to YouTube.
Okay, so this is live.
Yeah. It's
right.
semi-live. We're doing it live is what.
Oh my gosh, I love it. There's no warm-up. We're just getting straight into it.
Yeah.
Okay, I dig your style.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Well, I seriously feel like we've been trying to schedule this for a year.
Yeah, it's been a while since since I first asked you.
I know. Thank you for being so patient.
My pleasure. Oh my god, I haven't seen you in 5 years.
It's been a minute, yeah, and I want to thank you, first of all, so much for even thinking of me because I've never done anything like this, nor did I ever think I would do anything like this. So I just want to thank you and say it's an honor to do this, and I hope I am a good guest.
My pleasure, because I want to tell you sincerely, when I was working at Menlo College during that summer, you were literally the nicest person I met.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I never knew that.
Oh, you'll find out a lot more, trust me. But you're welcome.
Oh my god, I have the biggest smile on my face right now. Thank you.
Of course. Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Tommy. Okay, wait. I need to know what made you reach out to me and ask me to do this.
I haven't talked a whole lot about my Menlo College experience because it was a very dark and scary time in my life, leading up to my car accident. And so I want, to actually talk to somebody who was there at that time. And you're literally the nicest person that was there.
Oh, thank you. Right on. Well, thank you. I'm so glad we're doing this finally.
My pleasure. But I'm curious, though, about your journey. So where are you from originally?
Yeah, okay. You ready for this?
Yep.
Okay. So I was born in Oakland. I spent a lot of my childhood there because my grandmother, she pretty much raised me. She's an angel, and I love her so much. So I spent a lot of time with my grandmother. I went to school in Fremont, California, which is maybe 30 minutes south of Oakland.
Right.
I spent some time living in Manteca, which is in the Central Valley area, and ultimately decided to come back. And we went to Menlo College, so I lived in Menlo for a bit too.
Wow, so you spent most of your life in the East Bay.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. I mean, I used to go to the East Bay a lot, and I just like thought to myself, God, how can a lot of people grow up here and live here? It's just so it's kind of scary out there.
Like sketchy people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm one of them. Let me tell you. Yeah, no, I actually live back in Menlo Park now, so I'm on the peninsula side now. But yeah, I would say most of my childhood growing up was definitely spent in the East Bay.
Which high school did you go to?
I went to Kennedy High School, which is actually allegedly was the most ghetto one in our area, but I mean, I think I turned out okay.
I think so. Isn't there a Kennedy Elementary School in Fremont?
Not that I know of. Unless it was recently built. I don't know. To be honest, I haven't been back to Fremont pretty much since I graduated high school.
Yeah,
I feel so far removed from it.
Yeah, 'cause there was an elementary school down the street from where my brother and my sister-in-law used to live in Fremont, and I think it was Kennedy. But I'm not too sure about that. Did you do a lot of activities in high school?
Not too much. So I started high school in Fremont my sophomore year. So I came in kind of late, didn't really know anyone, was extremely introverted. I was racing motocross at the time, so a lot of my weekends and time were just dedicated to motocross practice. I was gone every weekend. I never went to any social events, nor did I go to parties. I think I maybe went to one school dance.
Mm-hmm.
Hated it. I did play soccer 1 year. One of my friends and I decided to just try out for the team randomly, and we just played for a season. I wasn't too involved. Motocross was my life at the time, so yeah.
So what year did you get to Menlo?
Oh gosh, what year did I get to Menlo? Were we in the same year? Or
I got there.
Did we graduate the same year?
Because I got there in the summer of 2014.
Wait, that's when you started school?
No, that's when I started working there as security.
Oh, that's right. Okay, sorry. I was
It's
I'm
okay.
getting mixed up right now.
It's okay.
So I think I started. Oh my gosh, it's so hard to think back in the past. I must have started in 2008. Yeah, because I graduated in 2012.
Mm-hmm. And by the time I got there, you were working there.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah.
So I graduated, and then I worked maybe a year and a half. I was working at Facebook right out of Menlo, and then I got recruited back at Menlo. So that was 20. Well, you were there, so I think I maybe started working at Menlo 2014, 2013. I don't even know. What is time?
So you worked at Facebook.
Yeah.
Did you know a guy he worked for craft service at Facebook named Zeke?
Wait, the name sounds so familiar.
He died in 2014.
Wait, where did he work?
He worked at Facebook in craft service.
Craft service. Okay, his name sounds so familiar.
Yeah, Zeke Duru.
I bet if I saw a picture, I'd probably recognize, because that's a very unique name.
He and I were very good friends when we were in first grade, and we went to middle school together and stuff, and then he started hanging out with all the kids that bullied me, so then we were never close again, though, but every time he saw me, he always said hi to me and stuff, and things were never bad, but he died in a very bizarre way. I saw him the night that he died, actually. He was at the patio at Rudy's in Palo Alto bar, and he looked normal to me. Everything was fine, and then I found out that he died. He had an alcohol related heart attack in his sleep.
No way.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was possible, so you could have an alcohol related heart attack.
He was a big guy.
Okay. Oh wow.
I went to his funeral, and it was raining. It was right in the middle of San Carlos, too, I remember.
Wow. That is crazy. So you must have been like one of the last few people that he interacted with then. You saw him that day, you said?
Yeah, I must have been one of them. Or, at least somebody he was with,
Wow. That is crazy. Life is such a trip. You really, I like to say we're on borrowed time. We never know.
Yeah, and he was one of the people who invested his money in that place. When the stocks came and stuff. He probably died with quite a bit of money too.
Mm-hmm. Did he have a family? Do you know?
He didn't have his own family, but yeah, he has his parents and stuff.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, oh my God, my journey to how I got there is just incredible. I grew up in San Mateo, and I my parents, they spent a lot of time working in my early years, and just like you, my grandmother raised me pretty much, and I was bullied a lot in school because I was a big kid and stuff, and I knew from an early age I wanted to be in show business, but I just didn't know how to pursue it until a few years ago after my car accident and stuff. So I graduated from high school in 2001. I took care of my grandmother for 9 months until she died, and then I was depressed for a while. I went to CSM for a semester. All I did was smoke pot and tell jokes. That was my only thing I did while I was there. And so I left, and then I wrote a lot of screenplays during that time, and they were mostly terrible. I lost a lot of them. But I got a job working at Long's Drugs in San Carlos, and one of my friends from childhood turned me on to stand-up comedy. I started going up and doing open mic stand-up in 2006 when I was 23. And then I found...
And where did you do stand-up?
Let's see, there's a place in San Francisco that closed down about a year and a half ago called the Brainwash Cafe.
Oh, I like the name.
Well, it was a laundromat with open mic, stand up, and food and drink and that, and it was a very special place where a lot of San Francisco comedians got to develop their craft, and I learned a lot while I was there for 2.5 years and stuff. And then I found out I had to lose weight. I lost 130 pounds on this diet.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was working as a bouncer at a bar that I did stand-up comedy at in San Mateo called The Swinging Door. I was there from 2007 to 2009. And then I left, and then depression came again. Then I started drinking. And my mom, she let her ex-boyfriend come live with us, and pretty soon he took our savings, my trust fund. We ended up on the streets, and
my gosh, wait, how old are you at this point when this is like all happening?
I was 30.
Okay.
So we lost our apartment 7 months before I started my job at Menlo, and
no way.
Yes. Oh, it gets better.
Never guess.
It gets better. So my bank account was inactive for 7 months because I had no job, and I was collecting state disability because I have Asperger's syndrome, and that was taken away from me. A lot of people I know who are on disability lost their money during that period. They had all these much more stricter rules than they had when I first got on in 2001, and so I had no money from December of 13 till June of 14. My bank account was inactive. If someone wanted to send me money, they had to send it to me through MoneyGram machines at CVS because I had no.
Oh my gosh.
I had no bank account. Yeah, and I crashed on friends' couches. I stayed in hotels whenever I could. I saved every coin I found, and I cashed them out at the Coinstar machines. I applied for about 40 jobs before First Alarm Security hired me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This is right before Menlo?
Yeah, this is all just before it. I spent 4 holiday seasons at a Narcotics Anonymous church in Redwood City for Thanksgiving and Christmas dinners because they were free and they were really really good too. And that was the only place I could go. My mom, she was going in and out of the Bay Area to over here in Redding or Livermore, where she eventually found a job at. It was just insane. And
Wow.
so I start the job.
Do you have like family, or why would she go to Reading to Livermore?
Livermore is where her job ended up being, but she'd go down here because my godparents were up here, and they gave her a place to stay for a while.
Got it.
Yeah. So I start my job at Menlo College, middle of June of 2014. Tracy trained me.
Oh, I remember that guy. Of course.
Oh, I bet you do. I remember he used to flirt with you a lot.
I wouldn't call it flirting. He was just nice.
He was nice, but he was a perv.
Well, now I know.
No, he was a great guy. I actually was really disappointed when he got a new job, and then that dipshit Malcolm came in. Oh God, that guy drove all of us crazy.
Malcolm. Oh
yeah.
My gosh, you're bringing back so many memories.
Oh my God, that guy. He was always like telling all these friggin' lies about, he's like, oh, I was a Secret Service man in Morocco. Yeah, why are you in San Mateo working for First Alarm Security?
Oh boy.
Yeah. I enjoyed that job for 8 weeks, and then when the students came back, there was drama between me and them like every day I worked.
Between you and the students?
Yeah, because they were so arrogant.
Oh wow. Yeah, that was quite a different place when there's students versus not students.
Yeah. Oh, I'd get phone calls from neighbors complaining about noise that was too loud. I'd be in the middle of locking up doors at the right time, and then I'd get a call to do something that's not even my job, and I'd get yelled at if it went wrong.
Wait, so you're telling me people outside of the college would call you?
Oh yeah, like neighbors.
Why did they even have a city number?
I think some of them had complained before about stuff, and so like whoever was doing security like said, okay, here's our number if it happens again or something. I don't know.
Oh gosh.
There was a lot of weird shit going on with security over there that I saw every day. There was a lot of contradictions, a lot of stuff. It was a stressful job after a while.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy that because there was only one security guard on duty at a time, right?
Yeah, there should have been 2 or 3.
Yeah, that's a lot for one single person to handle.
Yeah, nobody can handle the task that we had to do. Just one person. We needed 2 or 3 of them. We should have had a group effort, but they didn't want to pay for 2 or 3 people on the same shift.
And here you are. You get to tell the story now.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. So the people who were nice to me was like you and Craig Medlin's wife. I forget her name. She was always walking her dog.
Oh yes, I forget her name too, but I remember her.
Yeah, she was nice. Bob Talbot, he could be nice. He was very moody.
Depending on the day of the week, maybe.
Yeah. Sometimes he could be just the nicest guy, most helpful guy, and then other times he could be just so angry.
Oh my gosh. You must have some crazy stories though, because I feel like security, you're there, you're up all night at times. You have access to everything.
Yeah, my shift was 4 p.m. to midnight, and I preferred that shift because it got really quiet. I don't know what it was like during the day, but I heard that it could be pretty chaotic during the day.
Yeah, I mean everyone's up and about, so. But
yeah.
I feel like some nights can get pretty crazy too. Especially when they have things like the mystery dance or
The mystery dancer?
yeah, the mystery dance. You remember that dance? The mystery dance?
No, I probably wasn't there at that time.
What? Okay, you're lucky. That was a crazy night.
Oh, tell me about it.
Oh my gosh, so the mystery dance, I don't know if they still do it, but it was there when I was a student, and it was also there when I was working. So, think of like a high school dance, but they call it the mystery dance because it's at a mystery location, and you don't know until you basically show up.
Oh.
But I mean, you can imagine how crazy people got. It was like the biggest event of the year, so people are going to go a little crazy.
Yeah, that's interesting. Oh my God. And I'm trying to think. Yeah, and so like anytime anything went wrong, we had to call Jay. Even he would be at home when I was on my shift. I'd have to call him while he was at home just to tell him anything went wrong, just in case he showed up the next day and wasn't notified of it.
Yeah. Did you ever have to deal with like the police?
Um, I never had to deal with the police, but I did have to deal with paramedics and fire people once. You remember Josh? He had that Jewish camp.
Jewish camp. Okay, it was a summer camp, right?
Yes.
Okay, I remember the camp. I do not remember Josh, but I definitely remember the camp.
Okay, during the last few weeks I was there, this boy, I think he had diabetes or something, maybe something else. He collapsed, and he wasn't waking up. I had to call paramedics and firefighters. I actually knew one of the firefighters who came and stuff. I used to date his wife's best friend, and yeah.
Interesting connection.
Yeah, and we both used to be bouncers at rival bars that were next to each other. I was at Swinging Door, he was at Mandala.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and so we I don't know the paramedics was trying to wake this boy up and stuff, and eventually he did and stuff. Oh no, actually he was not diabetic. He actually fell off of he was hanging off of something and he fell and he was knocked unconscious. That's what it was.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That's the only time I ever had to deal with outside authorities, and thank God that was the only one.
Yeah. Yeah, it can be a little scary. Like something happens like that.
Yeah. And do you remember the security guard at Menlo High School who used to patrol Deepon?
Oh my gosh, I do not remember his name, but I remember I almost got in trouble once. One of like the high school side security. What was I doing? I think I was climbing like one of the fences, like at a weird time, and I think I had to escape him.
Yeah. One of the last weeks I was there, he and I were having a conversation. He told me to go apply for the security company he was working for and use him as a reference. And at that point, I kind of didn't want to do security anymore for a while because it got so stressful and stuff. I ended up applying for the company a couple days after Christmas, and the only job they could offer me was in a very ghetto neighborhood in South San Francisco, so I didn't take the job.
Yeah. So you would have gone from like Menlo to there.
Yeah, I could have, but I didn't want to.
Yeah.
But he was very nice, and he wanted to help me out and stuff because I just told him how stressful that job was. And,
yeah. Yeah, that's great. I love it when people offer to like use them as a reference.
Oh God, it's so rare nowadays.
It is. It is. You never hear anyone say that.
I know. It's just like everyone is into themselves now and not wanting to help anybody because they're afraid that their careers are going to end if the person fucks up. You know.
For sure.
Yeah. So how I got fired? Oh my God. So.
I got fired.
Well, I got removed from site, but I stayed with the company for another month and a half or so. But I'll get to that. So, how I got removed from site, let's say, not fired, but I pretty much did get fired. Let's say, during the last couple of weeks, there was this student, her and her friend, they were at the gym just hanging out like at 9:05, and I had to close it at 9 o'clock. But then again, I had to deal with a situation that made me a few minutes late. So at 9:05, I go to the gym and I tell them they can't be there. And the one girl, she mouths off to me and made some smart ass comments and stuff. So I said, I got really firm with her and strong with her, and it took a good 5 minutes before they eventually left. I was just, pissed, right? And so I hear from Malcolm the next week. He says, I heard, you insulted this one student. And I said, yeah, because she wouldn't leave the gym. It was 9:05. It was 9:10 when she eventually left after, I was freaking working hard to get her and her friend out of there. And then he was all lecturing me saying, you're an ambassador of this place. You have to do this and that. And I'm like, fuck you, man. You would have done the exact same thing, And then I remember a couple days later, I'm walking through the gym at like 4 or 5 o'clock, and and school has started. This is like week 2 or 3, and she's in this PE class that's in the gym. All these girls are in this PE class that's in the gym, and they all start snarling at me because she told them about me and stuff.
No.
Yes. And one girl...
High school or what?
Yeah, they're acting like they're still in high school. They were probably like 18, just fresh out of high school, if I had to guess.
Oh, gosh.
She starts mouthing, this girl that I never dealt with before starts mouthing off to me and stuff because I politely asked her to, get out of my way because I had to fix something, And she said something smart ass to me, and then I said to her in front of the entire class, "It's okay, I forgive you. You've been sucking dick since you were 2." Yeah. Oh, they were all laughing.
Oh my god, that is hilarious. Could she say anything after that?
I just ignored her. I walked away and I gave her I gave her the finger backflip style.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh, I was mad.
So was that the famous incident that got you removed from site, shall we say?
Yes. So, okay, I worked from Wednesday through Sunday, and Friday night, I go to work at 4, and a girl is being trained, and I'm thinking to myself, what shift is she going to work? Because, we have enough guys. And about 2 hours later, I get a call from Steve, who would work in the afternoons there. Mm-hmm. And Steve says to me, "Hey, Tommy, I went by the school early this afternoon, and I saw a girl being trained. And I hate to tell you this, man. It seems to me that you're going to be removed from site." And I was like, "Really? You think that?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "I don't know for sure, but I don't know. I just have this feeling," because he knew about all the stuff I told him, about that girl and everything. And so he could feel it that I was going to be removed from site. And I was just like, whatever, I mean, I'm tired of all the bullshit around here, so I'm just going to go. I'm just going to go if they ask me to. So I worked all the way till Sunday, and then Monday was Labor Day, and then I got a text from my manager at First Alarm, and he says, "Can you come in tomorrow?" And I said, "Oh, can I no," I said, "Do I bring my uniform and stuff?" And he's like, "Oh, no, you're not fired. We just want to talk to you." And I said, "Okay." So then he came in, and they said that they were going to remove me from site. And they did not mention that specifically, but they mentioned that, I'd gotten a lot of stuff wrong and what have you. I don't know if you noticed this, but a lot of security guards got removed from site there.
No. Well, why do you think that is?
Because they can't deal with the bullshit, So they said to me, "Okay, the only job that we can give you that's stable right now is working at AT&T Park during the World Series." And so I took that. I took
Yeah.
that, and it enabled me to work anytime I wanted.
Oh my gosh.
And so I could choose.
Was that the biggest blessing in disguise, or what?
It was. It was. And they gave me the same pay, and I could work any day I wanted. I just had to let them know in advance. And so my plan was I'm going to work this job until the World Series is over, and then I'm going to leave it. But in the meantime, I'm going to get a seasonal retail job for the holidays, and I'm going to do props for this theater production because that's what I did before everything happened, with losing the apartment and stuff. So.
And what do you mean do props? Like.
Oh, I handle props backstage. I give the actors the props, before they go on. I help with the, load in, load out, stuff like that.
Okay.
And by this point, my mom was working a part-time job at Safeway in Redwood City that she hated, and she was on the verge of getting her job in Livermore. And she said if you save money for all these jobs that you're going to do next few months, we can save up, for a deposit for an apartment. And I was like, okay. And that's what I did. But then my accident happened in January, and we had just looked at an apartment the day before the accident.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, wait, can I ask? Like, okay, so you get this job. You get removed from site.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have this plan to start working retail, do the props, continue working security through the end of the World Series.
Right.
Now this accident happens like in the middle of this or right after?
Right after. So this is what happened. So I remember the last day of the World Series was October 26th. I got a job at Cost Plus World Market in Redwood City. Then I started the week before that. I worked with them all the way until Christmas Eve, and I ended up getting removed from the play, but I got paid for it and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then my accident was January 21st, 2015, and I had just received my first unemployment check that day.
And what happened? Where did this happen in Redwood City? Like what happened?
Okay, so I did a lot of drinking during 2014. I mean, I was drinking before that, but 2014 was the worst. In fact, last couple of weeks I was working at Menlo. I went to work drunk a couple times.
I would have never guessed.
Oh, I wasn't. Oh no, I wasn't like an idiot or nothing drunk. I was just buzzed because I just couldn't deal with all the shit that was going on.
Right.
So me and this guy that I was hanging out with for a long time, he was dating a stripper, and we went to the strip club in San Francisco because he was hoping that he would see her because she hadn't answered her phone in like a month. So.
Oh my gosh.
So we go.
And that was his girlfriend?
Yeah, or not his girlfriend, just the girl that he was dating and fucking, basically.
Okay.
So we go up there, and she I don't know, gave him some bad news, and so he came out, and he's like, let's go next door. So we go to a bar next door, and I blacked out. I don't remember anything from that. So the next thing I know, we're in the middle of the road in Burlingame. We were like halfway home. He was taking me home to Redwood City, and we were in the middle of the road. Apparently what happened was I fell asleep in the passenger seat. He fell asleep at the wheel. We ended up in the middle of the road. We got out okay, but then the car collided with us, and then the impact hit us.
Oh my gosh. So your friend was driving?
Yes.
And he was on his way to drop you back off?
Yeah. He was
oh my God.
dropping me off home, yeah. And next thing I know, I woke up in the hospital 30 days later because I was in a coma.
30 days?
Yep.
Wait, so what's the last thing you remember? Do you remember?
I just remember being in the middle of the road and my hand was bleeding because glass went through it, and My heart was racing. I was sweating. I was like, "What happened?" And my friend was like, I think we ran out of gas or something." And then I just remember waking up in the hospital 30 days later after that.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
That is insane. Wow. I'm speechless.
Yeah.
I've heard of these things happening, but I've never actually known someone who's been through it and survived.
A lot of people are speechless when I tell them that, especially around here in Reading, because they're so-called religious freaks out here, but they're also hypocrites.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you wake up 30 days later, and do you have any idea where you are, what day is it, what happened?
No. I know it was my mom's birthday when I woke up. I never forget my mom's birthday.
You knew it was her birthday? You woke up on her birthday?
I'm sure I didn't realize that at the time, but it incidentally became her birthday. And I was under a lot of anesthesia. I don't remember much until maybe the third day. The third day I woke up and I was very confused. I was like, "Where am I?" and stuff, and "Why am I here?" And they were telling me that I had an accident and stuff. And one of my best friends died in a car accident 2 months before I had mine, and I could have swore he was in the room with me talking to me.
Wow.
It was weird. It was really weird. The first couple of weeks I was up was really, really weird.
I mean, do you believe that he was there with you? Do you believe in spirits and?
I do believe it. Unfortunately, his family didn't. His family is non-religious, and they're very much, you know, they're not very nice people, unfortunately, and they didn't believe that. But I believe it in my heart that he was there with me.
Wow. No, I believe it too. That's so beautiful.
Yeah. So I.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy, Tommy. I had no idea.
Yeah. So I get out of the hospital the day before my birthday, and I make the decision weeks later that I'm going to pursue show business. I'm going to get back on stage and do stand up, and that's what I did for a year and a half. And then I had to deal with all the haters that I had to deal with in comedy before that. And so my mom, she moved up here, got a job up here in Reading, and got this apartment, and she asked me to come with her, and I did. I left in April of 2017.
Wow. So you were living in Redwood City?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was living just before my accident. I was living into this home for people with disabilities. I was there for almost 3 years, and so I left in April of 2017, come up here, and I had an offer to go to LA, which I should have taken, but um, this comedian that I started out with, he had a room for me, and he ended up giving it to somebody else. At the time that my mom offered me offered me to come up here, and so I took this instead because the room was already taken in Hollywood. But I should have taken it, several months before that. It's one of my biggest regrets. But I plan on getting to Hollywood eventually. I was supposed to move out there for a few months back in July. The person I was going to stay with got in trouble with the law. She was on drugs.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Can I ask you if we could rewind to your accident?
Oh, absolutely.
Can I ask you, if you don't mind sharing, what, just from surviving and dealing with that, what's been your, what's the word, takeaway? I don't like to use the word lesson, but what, did you have a big aha moment, after realizing oh my god, I just survived that and I'm here?
Yeah, you asking me to make me humble?
I'm sorry?
Are you asking me if it made me humble?
No, did you have any major eye openers or any did you make any radical life shift, or
Oh yeah.
did it change your way of thinking and seeing things?
Oh yeah, it made me see. You only live once. You got to go for it. You can't wait. tomorrow. You got to do it now. I can't drink if I wanted to. My liver is pretty much damaged from all the drinking I did. Um, the doctor said maybe in 7 years I'd be able to, which has been 4 now, but I don't plan on drinking because my brother's struggling with that, unfortunately. But it also made me just, appreciate life more. I just couldn't believe I made it through.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. No, that's beautiful. And you you didn't go because it wasn't your time to go. You're still here for a reason to continue living and fulfilling whatever it is you want to fulfill. But wow, I'm like in awe right now. Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry. Well, fast forward. So you said you're the person that you were supposed to move into, or you're supposed to live in Hollywood for a few months. And then your friend the person you were going to live with got caught up with drugs, got in trouble.
Yeah, I met her on Facebook in early 2018. She was a fan of my podcast, and she knew a lot of the same celebrities I did and stuff. So we were talking for like a year, and she told me I was always welcome to stay at her place in Hollywood and stuff. And we set the day for like July 10th. It took a long time planning, and then she lost her son to social services. Her son's autistic, and she was taking some methadone one day, and she got up on a ladder and she fell. And social services came in after she went to the hospital. They came in and took the baby away from her.
Oh gosh, it was a baby,
like 3 years old.
Oh no.
And she was raped by some random guy in an alley. That's how the baby was born.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, it ruined my year pretty much because now I have to stay here another year. I hate Reading so bad. There's nothing to do up here. The people are very conservative, very judgmental. It's just not a good place for me. No show business. I mean, it's terrible. But at least I go to LA once or twice a year, and I have meetings with people. I'm going to go down in a couple of weeks.
What are you going to do there?
I'm going to the horror convention, Son of Monsterpalooza.
Okay.
I go to both Monsterpaloozas a year, and I'm going to have meals with some of my guests and just talk. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I imagine it's a really awesome place to just also make connections, right, and network.
Oh, absolutely. You network. You you basically just network. It's really, really cool.
Okay.
I mean,
but your ultimate goal, you said you want to end up in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Okay.
I started the podcast about a month in living here in Reading. I wanted to start one while I was in Redwood City, but I had no privacy in that house. I had no privacy at all. So I decided I was going to wait until I came up here to do it. And I've interviewed people I grew up idolizing, not once, but multiple times in some cases. You're my 540th interview.
540?
Yep.
Oh, wow. You've spoken to a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, I'm a fanboy. I love, movies. and I get friends from the Bay Area to come on too, and talk about stuff that we did in the past,
Yeah, that's awesome.
You still talk to anyone from Menlo?
Let me see. My both roommates actually went to Menlo. The roommates that I live with currently. Who else? I do. Yeah, not a ton.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a few. I didn't have a big group of friends anyways when I was there. But yeah, there's a few.
Do you know if Jan Dykstra is still alive?
I think
Yeah, because he was
Pretty sure.
He was 90. He was 91 when I met him.
Oh my gosh! Wait, he lives in Howard, right?
Howard. He lived on campus.
Yeah. Didn't he live like on the second floor of Howard or something?
Yeah, and I remember one time there was a fair going on at the school, and he woke up like screaming, "What the hell is going on here?" You know?
we're just trying to have fun.
Yeah.
At the fair.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, no. Honestly, I'm pretty sure he passed. I don't think I was working on campus, but I was always worried about the guy because he lived by himself, and he definitely, had some.
Well, he was.
Years on.
Well, he was always with Craig and his wife, so.
Man, I haven't thought about that guy in forever.
Yeah, I wonder if that was his last year that he was there, because he was 91.
Wow.
So I got some toe curling sex stories about Menlo.
Oh my gosh, we got to hear them.
Okay. I can't remember. It was probably like my third or fourth week there. There was this girl security guard that I think Trace. It was probably Tracy wanted me to like not train her, but like shadow her. Show her what we do at Menlo.
Right.
And stuff. And she was Polynesian, and she was very pretty. And she was from the ghetto. She was like from Hayward or something.
Okay.
And like we spent the whole night, showing her, my job and everything, what I had to do and stuff, and we were talking, and she was hella cool and stuff. And around, I would say about 10 o'clock, 10:30 or something like that, she started tickling me in the office.
She started tickling you in the office.
Yeah.
Wait, wasn't your guys' office like? Didn't you have like a window? Like it was right outside the crowd, right?
Yeah, it was like it was a small little hut office.
Yes.
And
there the pool.
Right, where the pool was. Oh God, I loved the fact that it was by the pool. Oh my God, I'd see all the hot guys swimming.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so she starts tickling you.
Yeah.
In the hut.
Yes, she starts tickling me, and then we kiss.
What? Who makes the first move?
I did.
Well, you know what? Maybe technically she did, because she started tickling you first, right?
Yes.
So she touched you first.
Well, she touched me first, but okay, we tied. Let's say we tied for the first move.
Okay.
So we kissed, and then we were like saying, she was saying, I was telling her, about my situation, and she was telling me about her situation, living and stuff, and that like we wish we could go over to one of each other's places to have sex, and it wasn't possible because I was living at that home and she was living with family up in Hayward, and I couldn't go all the way to Hayward,
Right.
and stuff. So we waited till 11 o'clock or so, and we had some sex in the security office.
In the hut?
Yep.
No way.
Yeah, but we had our clothes on.
You had your clothes on.
Yeah. Oh, we had to. I mean, she unbuttoned her shirt so I could see her tits.
Oh my gosh, wait, so this happened, how many more times did it happen after that?
This was the only time I did it with her.
Okay.
I saw her at the, I worked with her at the ballpark, like towards the end of the World Series and stuff. And I had her number, and then she like stopped answering after that.
Mm.
But I never talked to her again and stuff. But yeah, I got to butt fuck her.
Look at you, all these things that I'm finding out years later.
Yeah. Oh, here's a better one. There's a teacher who shall remain nameless
Oh, no, you gotta tell me after we hang up.
Okay. There was a teacher who used to come in at night to work in her office.
Okay.
At Menlo. And probably by the third week, I would spend either Saturday night or Sunday night in her dorm until like 8 in the morning after I got off work.
In her dorm? Wait, she lived on campus?
She lived on campus.
Okay. I'm trying to think. You don't have to name, but...
that went on until my last night there. And then she let me spend Christmas Eve with her.
No way.
Yes. Christmas Eve, my mom was up in, I think she was in Livermore. Yeah, she was in Livermore by that point. She was coming down Christmas Day so her and I can go see a movie. But on Christmas Eve, I was with her all night. We went to Cook's seafood restaurant.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
We went there for Christmas dinner, and then I was at her place until like maybe 2 in the morning, and then I went home.
Wow, you guys got pretty serious spending holidays together.
Well, I texted her at random and, asked her, how everything was, because I hadn't talked to her since I left. And
Right.
I told her my situation, and she's like, oh, you could spend Christmas Eve with me. And I said, okay, so I did.
Wait. You're saying you guys spent Christmas Eve together after you left Menlo, or you're still at Menlo at this point?
No, I left Menlo. My last day was the day before Labor Day.
Oh, and then you hit her up after you left.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll tell you off air.
Have you guys hung out recently or what?
No, I've emailed her and she doesn't reply me back. And then I think she left Menlo.
Oh shit, probably.
Yeah, it was really unfortunate, but I had a good time with her.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah. Oh my God. So it was a dark and scary experience, but I made the most of it.
For sure. It sounds like others did too.
Oh my God. Do you have any stories like that?
No. Oh my gosh. I mean, I was in relationships the whole time, basically. No, for sure I was. When I was working there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No cool stories like that. I was in a long-term relationship.
Did you live on campus?
I did. I lived on, when I was working there, I lived in Pratt, like on the first floor. Or, what's that bottom floor? Is that technically the basement? You know those two apartments that are like in Pratt?
I kind of do.
The very bottom floor?
It's been a while, but yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I lived in Pratt. I was on campus because for my role, I also had to be like on call certain nights.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever something like crazy happened, I would get a call and I'd have to go, go save the world.
Yeah. Oh my God, the calls that I got were just insane. Do you remember Linda?
Linda.
Yeah, older woman.
The president's assistant?
Yes.
Yes.
She hated me, and I don't know why.
Are you sure?
Oh yeah, every time I saw her, she would just like snarl at me.
But why?
I don't know. Just the people there just had this weird energy about them.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, do you remember Rick?
Oh, the mailroom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I don't know how that guy did it. The guy he took the train from Gilroy every day to work at Menlo College. I don't know how that guy did that.
Yeah, I remember he told me once, and I didn't understand why he did it. But I actually heard he's still there.
Oh yeah, he started out as security there, and he always bragged about it. I remember that girl security guard when I was shadowing her. He told her he's like, I used to be security here. Me and Jay both used to be security here. Like, he was kind of flirting with her.
Wait, is that considered flirting or being nice?
I don't know. Or is
this the same thing?
A little of both, probably.
I mean, tell me this. If a girl is nice to a guy, do you guys see that as flirting? Or is he just like, oh, she's a nice human being?
I think if a guy is an ignorant alpha male, yes. He sees that. Me, I don't. I see it as being nice.
Yeah, I like treat others how you want to be treated, right? Like
exactly. That's something that is missing from today's world nowadays and stuff. But I try to be nice to everybody.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like you never know what someone is going through, like a stranger, right? Like that you see in the streets, and sometimes even just like saying hi to someone or just smiling at them, like you never know how that could impact their day because we don't know what everyone's going through, right? Like even you telling me your crazy stories, like I would have never guessed, right, that you were going through at the time.
Right. I mean, I've met certain people, didn't know what was going on with them, and then when I did, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm talking to you right now because you've been through an awful lot.
Yeah, and it's amazing, like how. Oh my gosh, I recently had an interaction with like someone who was just like one of the kindest people I've ever met, and they have been through so much. And oh my gosh, I love people who can, who don't let experiences in life make their heart cold, or they don't let life experiences harden them. They continue living life openly and with a lot of love and. It's not easy to do, but those are my people.
Aw, that's so sweet. So there's a game that I like to play with my guests, and how this works is, this is like silly slumber party questions.
Oh, I like this.
And how this works is, I ask you a question, and you answer it, and then you ask me that exact same question, and I answer it.
Okay. So we're going to answer the same question.
Yes.
Okay.
Sarah, are you ticklish?
Yes. Tommy, are you ticklish?
I'm very ticklish.
Same.
As I'm sure you know. Is your belly button an innie or an outie?
My belly button is an innie. Tommy, is your belly button innie or outie?
It is a very deep innie.
Very deep innie.
What color are your toenails painted?
Oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing. So they were pink. I kid you not, maybe like 3 of them are left with nail polish. Yeah, they don't look too great right now, but I was like 3 of them are pink right now.
Nice.
Tommy, wait, what was the question? What color are your toenails painted?
Yeah, they're not painted right now, but at when I went to LA in April, they were Easter color. They were blue green.
Like a turquoise or aqua?
Yeah.
I love that color. Good choice.
Thank you. Yeah, that's how me and that teacher got together. We were talking about nail polish one night.
And were your toenails painted at the time?
They were, and hers were, and I noticed, and I told her how much I liked them.
Oh, so now you know the secret.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, okay. This question is a little personal, and if you don't want to answer it, it's okay.
Okay.
I ask I only ask very special guests this question, which means not a whole lot of them I get to ask.
Okay.
As a woman, which do you prefer, G-spot or clitoral stimulation?
As a woman, I choose both. Is that valid?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
As a guy, I like to give a woman G-spot stimulation because it seems to be more effective, I think.
Based off of your years of research and experimental.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. My favorite question, is there a stinky smell that just makes you gag?
Oh, good question. Oh man, this is a good one. I mean, I really don't enjoy the smell of vomit.
Nobody does.
Also, I would say vomit and just really bad, I guess, breath maybe? Like someone who hasn't brushed their teeth in a few days.
Oh yeah, that's the worst.
Okay, same question to you.
The first 6 months I was out of the hospital, I had really bad athlete's foot.
Oh, okay.
That would definitely be the worst.
Hey, what does that smell like?
It's just a very stinky smell. It's gross. The last month I was in the hospital, I was very grumpy from the medication they were giving me, so I didn't give them a reason to like me very much, so they didn't change my socks.
Oh, no. That is so rude.
Yeah.
They should have given you clean socks every day.
I know, but I was just grumpy all the time that last month, and plus, the people in ICU were a lot nicer to me than the people in rehab. In rehab, they were just very tough, and they acted like they knew me, and they didn't, and they were just telling me, do this, do that, and I was like, my body heals differently than the average patient that you have, and so you don't know, how my body works and stuff, so don't tell me to do this and that. I mean, it was really, really bad.
Oh my gosh. Well, now you get to live to tell the tale, and it's going to be part of your book one day.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Oh my god, I got some really funny dirty jokes.
Okay.
Everybody knows the old nursery rhyme. There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many kids she didn't know what to do. What did her right leg say to her left leg?
What did her right leg say to her left leg?
Yeah.
I'm the worst at jokes, to be honest. I really don't know.
Nothing. They never met.
Oh my god. That is a good one.
Thank you.
I love it. Oh my gosh, I kind of want to use that later today.
Oh, you can. You tell your girlfriends.
Yes.
How do you make your wife scream twice?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know either.
First you fuck her up the ass, and then you wipe your dick on the curtain.
Tommy, did you make that one up?
No, I wish I did.
Oh my gosh. Okay. What else do you got?
Can you imagine what a stain that would leave?
I kind of don't want to even think about that. Oh gosh, you let me know when you try it. You let me know.
If I can get laid again, it's been quite a while.
How long? Ever since your teacher friend?
Since maybe the weekend before the accident.
Wait, how long has it been?
It's been 4 years.
4 years. Oh, you can do it. You're going to be in LA soon.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Back in April when I was in LA, I was surrounded by so many free-spirited girls. It was just amazing. And my mother was with me. If she wasn't with me, I probably would have had a chance with some of them.
Okay, but this time when you're going by yourself.
I don't know what the circumstance is going to be, but we'll see.
Okay, but there's definitely ladies in the future. I can feel it.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm in junior high again because I masturbate so much.
Well, you gotta save up a little bit.
I mean, yeah, 5 times a day. I mean, it's insane.
Oh my god. Maybe cut it down to 3. You know, you can wait till you get to LA.
Yeah, I don't want to have kids right away, so I'm trying to kill as much sperm as possible.
Wait, you do or you don't want to have kids right away?
I don't want to have them right away.
Oh, okay, good.
I'm not ready yet. I'm 36.
Would you like to have kids one day?
You know what? It depends on the day, and it depends on, where we're living in the world, because I see these news stories, and I hear about, kids fucking, they spend all their time on their iPhones, and they have such a short attention span, and they're just so ignorant and all this stuff. It's it makes me not want to have kids in this day and age.
Yeah, no, I feel it 1,000%.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, when I was growing up, I didn't have iPhones, and I had to learn all of my information from watching TV and reading books.
Yeah.
And
I remember a time without the internet and smartphones.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like reading books, but occasionally I like to read a movie star biography or something. But I love being on the internet. It's the greatest thing that's ever happened. I've been on the internet 20 years now.
20 years. Isn't it crazy, to realize that so many kids never know the world without internet?
Yeah, and it also makes me, fear for the future, because, you're going to be talking to, kids who are younger than you, and they're just not going to be looking at you in the eye. They're going to be looking at their phone.
Yeah, it's happening.
It's happening now, but I'm just saying in the future, when they're adults, it's probably going to happen too.
Yes.
It's really, really scary.
It is. That's why we have to be the example and not be like that.
Exactly. Well, Sarah, I'm so glad that you came on today and that we could do this.
Yes. No, thank you. And like I said, thank you for thinking of me. I never thought I would do this. And thank you for sharing so much of your journey. And oh my gosh, I value and honor everything that you've been through. And you're still here today, which is amazing. And I'm honestly just really grateful that I've had this conversation. Thank you for opening up to me. And I just know, Tommy, you're going to make it to Hollywood and you're going to do amazing things. And please keep in contact. It was so amazing to reconnect.
Oh, thank you so much, Sarah. That means a lot to me. And would you be down to do this again in the future?
Yes, 1,000%.
Oh, that's so great. Well, I'll stay in contact with you, and I was curious, what are you doing now for work?
Oh yeah, so I currently work at the School of Medicine at Stanford.
Oh, nice.
And my work right now entails, I don't know if you've heard of the Cardinal Free Clinic, but
No.
There are these 2 clinics that are run on weekends in the Bay Area. One is located in San Jose and one in Menlo Park. Mm-hmm. And they're run by volunteer physicians and medical students, and we serve the underserved population, so those who don't have health insurance, people who just need help and can't really afford medical coverage.
Oh, that's great. That's so great. Yeah. You're doing God's work.
I can try.
It's all you can do is try, but you are doing God's work. And I'll stay in contact with you, and you keep on doing God's work, and you have yourself a great rest of your day.
I will. Thank you, Tommy. We'll talk soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you, hon. Bye-bye. Well, there you have it. Sara Duran. Ain't she a sweetheart? Thank you so much, Sara. I'm really happy that we could have this conversation. We could talk about our journeys, and I'm glad I made you laugh. And we will talk again. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Add me as a friend on Facebook. Join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past because the present sucks. Later, dudes.